Thanks for dropping in. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch my introduction video, it'll only take a few minutes and it'll tell you a little bit about why I established this page. Today I'd like to talk to you about my work in progress, A Picture of the Heart. You can actually see the cover art that we've put on my website at the link below. But today I just want to tell you a little about my journey. See, it can be a little discouraging being a writer at times, especially when you have an idea, but you're not exactly sure what to do with it. In fact, the picture of a heart, my work in progress, A Picture of the Heart, the idea came to me in 2010. In 2010, this idea comes, I get really excited. I sit down and I write about 26 of the worst pages that you'll ever read. Well, in fact, you'll never read it because nobody's ever going to get to, I hope. If you fast forward to 2013, I was in Germany for a class, and I learned some things there that helped me understand what type of personality I have and some of the benefits to outlining versus writing by the seat of my pants. You might have heard it referred to as being a pantser versus being an outliner. I have a tendency to do better when I outline. I still wasn't a writer though. If you fast forward to 2017, I had separated from the military and I was taking a year just to go to school. And I was praying and asking God for help because He had given me this fantastic idea, but it was 7 years earlier. And then He had encouraged me again in 2013, as I mentioned, to do an outline. And here I am, 2017, I still don't have anything that's a readable copy of what's in my heart and in my mind. So the next year, I actually got connected with Jerry Jenkins' Writers Guild. And I gained a lot of valuable information there. Then we took it a step forward with a class that he offered, my novel blueprint, or your novel blueprint. It was, and I'm not getting paid or endorsed to pitch any of this. It just helped me out a lot, and I just wanted to tell you my story. So during that time, I actually was able to complete a full manuscript of A Picture of the Heart. It ran about 60,000 words, and it was a little over 200 pages. Well, it still wasn't very good. And I didn't realize that until I got invited to take part in a 6-month class called Jerry's Inner Circle. It was during that time that I realized that I was doing a lot of overwriting, and I was making a lot of amateur mistakes. It was during the course of that I cut the manuscript down from 60,000 words to 35,000 words, which would be a novella, practically. I thought I was done with it. As a matter of fact, I was done with it. I had had enough. I'd been working on this thing for 10 years at this point. So I kind of shelved it. And I wasn't sure. I put out the feelers, I tried the query letters, and I sent messages out to publishers and followed their instructions, but I just wasn't getting any interest. Well, I decided to leave my profession about 3 or 4 weeks ago now and write full time. And I had told my wife that I was done with A Picture of the Heart and I was going to attempt to get it published. And she really encouraged me to work on it again. She said it was good, but it lacked a lot of description. Well, rightfully so. I had cut a lot of that out of it. Well, over the last few weeks, I sat down and I was going to fix a couple of errors that I had found in the book before I attempted to query publishers again. And I started really taking an interest in writing more description back in. And I started building the story up even more than I had before. And here over the last few weeks, I've added, I went from 35,000 to around 43,000 words. And I've added about 10, 12 pages back in. So I'm very happy about that. I've still got about 14 chapters left to edit, and I'm hoping to add maybe another 6,000 to 8,000 words back. I think it builds the story. I think it gives a lot more detail and images. Of course, I want to engage the theater of the reader's mind, but at the same time, I want you to see this world that I have in my head. And so that's a little of the story. So let me take a moment to encourage you, because that's primarily what I enjoy doing. If you're like myself, there's a few things that you should probably know. One, writing is just not magical inspiration. It's just not. I like the way that K.M. Weiland said it. I'm not going to quote her exactly, but she said, I believe that writing needs to be inspired. Therefore, I make sure I'm inspired every morning at 9 a.m. That's the time that she likes to work. I agree with that. I think Jerry Jenkins taught me that through his classes. Writing is hard work. It's just like it's your job. It's just like any other job. As a matter of fact, I love what he says whenever he talks about writer's block. He says, we're the only profession on earth that you get the opportunity to have writer's block, which means you don't work for a period of time. He's like, go to any other job and tell them I have, and you fill in the blank block. I can't work today, I'm sorry. It just doesn't work like that. Writing is hard work. It means you need to show up and sit down. And you should be inspired every time you sit behind your keyboard, because lying within you is the creativity to build this fantastic world that other people, and this fantastic story that other people get to share and be part of. So take that how you will, but my encouragement is to be inspired every time you sit down, whether you feel like it or not, and work hard. And if it takes you 10 years to publish a novel, or if it takes you 10 years to get a completed copy, well, that's fine. And this is the second thing I'd like to say, and this is just my personal, be satisfied with what you've created, regardless of whether it ever gets published or not. Because at the end of the day, your hard work will pay off. You'll have a product in your hand that you can be proud of, and if it gets published and others get to read it, fantastic. And if not, it's not a waste of time. You've learned, and you've grown. You've put effort into something, and you're getting better. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you'll come back and see me again in a couple of weeks.